I've made videos about the best neighborhoods of Salt Lake City, but what about the best suburbs of Salt Lake City? Let's look at some of the best suburbs surrounding Salt Lake and the amenities that those places have to offer. The suburbs of Salt Lake offer a variety of desirable neighborhoods. We've got a range of amenities and housing options. Obviously, they're going to be kind of similar to Salt Lake because Salt Lake is a compacted place. It's a valley sandwiched between two mountains. Mountains on the east, mountains on the west. You've got the Wasatch on the east and the Oakers on the west. And so everything is kind of tightly packed together. Draper is located out at the south end of Salt Lake Valley. It's got a really high quality of life. People love living in Draper. They have great parks. They have lots of outdoor recreation, hiking, skiing, biking, jogging, all of that stuff, whatever you want to do. And over on those Wasatch Mountains, you can see people doing all sorts of hang gliding, and I'm not even sure what they call it, but it looks like they have like a parachute and they like run down the mountain and they fly, and that's not hang gliding, and I'm not really sure what it's called, but it looks really fun, and they just kind of do loops over you in that area. Citytistics says that Draper receives a 71 out of 100 livability rating or a B overall. They get an A for cost, a D plus for education, and a B for crime. So I don't know, if education's important to you, maybe Draper's not the place to go. But the people I know who live in Draper really do love it. It's beautiful out there. Part of what is attractive about Draper, I guess depending on what part of Draper you live in, is that you get to kind of move upward on to the foothills of the mountain there. And you get a beautiful view, kind of north and west view of the valley, and there's just nothing quite like it. Draper really does get quite far up into the hills there, so it's really pretty. Holiday, east of Salt Lake City, is a charming suburb known for historic homes. They have strong community feeling there and very good schools. Niche says that Holiday gets a B for livability, but an A minus overall, and is mostly friendly at 60%. 60% of people living there say that Holiday is mostly friendly and kind, but somewhat phony at 15%. So 15% of people say that it is kind, but somewhat phony, which I thought was pretty funny. Sandy, situated in the southern part of Salt Lake Valley, offers a mix of urban and suburban living. They've got affordable housing options, good schools, and access to shopping and dining. Citytistics says that Sandy gets a 61 out of 100 livability score, a B minus for overall livability, A minus for cost, D plus for education, and a C plus for crime, which, that's what Citytistics says. I don't know what to tell you. I don't think of Holiday as being a crime-ridden, low-education place. And the same goes for Draper, honestly, but this is just what the numbers are saying. In addition to these highly ranked suburbs, other notable neighborhoods in Salt Lake City suburbs include Cottonwood Heights, Mill Creek, and I guess you could say Park City. I don't think Park City is exactly a suburb of Salt Lake, but it's another place that people definitely consider when they're thinking about moving to this neck of the woods. So we'll just talk about it a little bit. Cottonwood Heights, it's southeast of Salt Lake City. It's over towards the mouth of Big and Little Cottonwood Canyon. It's popular for its proximity to those mountains and the outdoor recreation activities. They've got all of the different things you could possibly imagine living in the foothills of the mountains. They've got diverse community and a strong economy. Niche says that Cottonwood Heights is the number 5 place to live in Utah and gives it an overall of an A minus rating. So Cottonwood Heights, number 5 in all of Utah is what Niche says. And they don't give Cottonwood Heights anything less than a B minus in schools, housing, crime, nightlife, diversity, or being good for families. Mill Creek, located just south of Salt Lake City, offers a balance of suburban and city living with plenty of outdoor spaces and a thriving local food scene. Niche gives Mill Creek an overall A minus rating as the number 8 spot to live in Utah. The rankings for school, crime, nightlife, diversity, and being good for families are all above a B plus except for housing at C+. And that's because Mill Creek is, if we're kind of mapping this out, you have Draper is the most southern, and then Sandy's kind of adjacent to it, moving north a little bit. And then you have Cottonwood Heights, and then you have Holiday, and then you have Mill Creek. And these all tend to be places where the homes are, it's called the East Bench essentially, and these places are the least affordable places of all of the places in Salt Lake. But that's why people like them the most. They're up on the hill, you have a beautiful view of the valley. The schools tend to be among the best schools, even though City-tistics doesn't rate them terribly highly. This is just the case. Park City is a top-rated town. I wouldn't call Park City a suburb of Salt Lake, really. I included it because I think it's worth considering. Lots of people know about Park City because of Sundance. It's beautiful up there. It's about 5 to 10 degrees cooler in the summer, and you get to be right in that winter wonderland. In the winter, you have the picturesque mountains. You've got world-class skiing. Definitely an affluent community, so that's something to consider, because if you yourself are not affluent, it might be hard to find housing there, but it does focus on arts and culture there, and it's a wonderful place to live. Niche gives PC an overall, sorry, I shouldn't say PC, I should say Park City. Niche gives Park City an overall A as the #1 place to live in Summit County, which doesn't surprise me terribly much. Summit County is not a very, very big place, and a lot of Summit County is still somewhat farmland and people trying to get away from the city, mostly. So the city of Park City is really the biggest thing there. The rest of Park City grades are similar to Mill Creek in that they're all above a B+, except the housing at C+, because it's so expensive. It's just a very expensive place to be. So overall, the best suburbs of Salt Lake City offer a high quality of life, strong community ties, access to outdoor recreation, and a mix of suburban and urban amenities. These factors make them really desirable places to live for families, young professionals, and outdoor enthusiasts. If you've been thinking of moving to a suburb near Salt Lake City, anywhere in Utah really, I would be so happy to help you get there. Reach out, we'll have a great time finding the place that's just right for you.